Want to call this regular meeting to order, and I'm going to ask Ms. Carrillo for a quorum.
Yes, Mayor, we've got, Councilwoman Jessica Ochoa here with us. We've got Councilman Plata. We have Councilman Vela. We have yourself. And we have, Mayor Pro Tem Garza on Zoom. We've got a quorum.
We got quorum and five
Yes, sir.
five elected officials. Okay. Call in for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Mr. Perez, we'll let you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And if I can ask everyone to please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks to you this day and for the many blessings that await us. May we continue to put our minds, hearts, and hands to good work for our citizens each day. Bless us all, Lord, our great city of Mission family alike, to continue to work hard for the good of this community. We continue to ask for your protection during this pandemic. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And the flag is behind us. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation.
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Now I'll open it for the presentation. I have agenda item number 1, and Mr. Perez, would you introduce our presenter for agenda item number 1, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you. We do have Mr. Raul Cecin, who is with the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1, to provide us an update on the Mission lateral improvements. And I'll hand it over to Mr. Cecin. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pettis. Mayor, council members, greatly appreciate the invitation, and we have prepared a PowerPoint to go over the status of the Mission lateral, which is one of our major projects that we have from the Bond 2018 program. Who's managing this slide? Okay. So Mission Lateral Phase 1 project limits. The slide up there shows the project limits for Phase 1, which starts at Benson Road and traverses westerly across the Stewart Road, about a quarter mile west there. And quarter mile east of Stewart Road, where we're currently under construction right now. So that's just, we put a little video together to kind of show the impact of this widening that's taking place right now. As you can see, and you can visually see it out there as well, when you go to Sherry Road, you'll see the cross-sectional area where we're currently at right now. You can really appreciate the amount of volume that we're creating in this linear system. So the connection to Benson Road is staying as is right now. However, with the amount of volume that we're creating, approximately about doubling the capacity of the system, almost 2.5 times the capacity there, will provide a lot of linear detention to the area. Right here, we're approaching Taylor Road right here. You know, the video started there at Benson going west. So we're flying west here across Taylor, continuing all the way west, and where we currently are right now, or the machines are right there at Sherry Road right now. It's a very large project, and we saw some value from the project during the Hurricane Hannah that hit
No,
us
siempre
earlier
no
in the
quieres
year.
hacerlos.
So we were able to see some benefit from this expansion, and it wasn't even fully constructed yet when Hurricane Hannah hit. So we very, very optimistic, and all our models have shown once it's fully constructed, it will bring a big impact to the city of Mission and a small portion of McAllen where it originates. So as you can see, that's where we are right there at Sherry Road. And just start there to finish that segment, and we'll continue westerly all the way to past Glasscock Road. So we have 277 contract days to do the work. We started in March of this year, and we anticipate completing December of this year. Contractor is on schedule. Contract amount is $2.4 million. So everything seems to be going as planned. We are working on making some minor adjustments to some storm sewer lines as we're going through the project. We are working with JP. He mentioned to me that you have a couple of laterals that you want to look at improving drainage into the Mission lateral. So we'll work with JP in his office to take a look at that and see how we can incorporate that into our system. So we'll continue that communication with the city and partnership and working to improve drainage for the area. The next slide shows the Mission Lateral Phase 2 project limits, which commences east of Stewart Road and carries all the way to Conway. And that project has already been let out. We have already awarded the contract to H&R Lease Services. And that project has 164 days of calendar days contract time. We will start, it says here November 20th, but we've already issued the notice to proceed. So he will be mobilizing, I guess, we're there always next month. And we anticipate completion of April of 2021. That project was $2.2 million. And as I mentioned, we just started that project. We anticipate staying on schedule with that project as well and completing it before hurricane season next year. So that's where we are on phase 2 of our mission lateral. The next slide just
the way my face shows.
shows the proposed cross section, typical section of the ditch. What you see there is you see the dashed lines are the lines that are the existing system, and then the dark lines are the proposed system. So just you can get a cross-sectional view of the amount of volume that we're creating through the system. The next segment that we have is phase 3, which is the one west of Conway. And that project, we are working with TxDOT in partnership for the crossing of Conway Road. We're working with them to see how they can fund part of that construction going through. We're looking at moving forward with our phase 3 planned production and putting it out for construction as well from Conway West through Inspiration Road all the way to start that construction independent. As I presented last time to the city, the coordination with TxDOT takes some time to do. So we anticipate moving forward with our segment of work west of Conway, which will create linear detention. We're going to do improvements at Los Ebanos, Inspiration, those crossings, and continue to work with TxDOT to get the crossing of Conway put in place. But we feel with the expansion of the system westerly will create a benefit for it because of the capacity, added capacity they'll have in the system. So we are moving on that already. We anticipate having those plans ready, if not by the end of the year, so we can go out for bid and start that segment probably most likely at the beginning of the year. So
Before I open it for questions for the council, I do want to thank you for the projection and that vision that you all did. And I just want to let the public know that when we talked about in 2018 about a Hidalgo County drainage bond, at least $17 million are going to be spent in
Yes,
and
sir.
around the city. And I just want to let the public know that this is the beginning of it, that there's already approximately about $5 million, maybe $6 million already committed and more to come.
that is correct, Mayor. Yeah, we are continuing, as the bond was laid out, all those investments are being made in the city of Mission. We have other projects in other areas that we are developing. We were asked to present on this project, but I could always come back to the city and make a presentation on the rest of the projects that we have in the city of Mission and show where we're at. Another project in city of Mission on the northwesterly outskirts city of Mission, it's already going to construction as well. We can make that presentation as well. And then we have another lateral in the Los Ebanos area that we're looking to create. We can make the presentation on that, where we are with the right of way and so forth. So be more than happy to come back to the city and make an overall presentation of all the bond projects that we have in the city of Mission. But today's focus is going to be mainly on the Mission lateral, which is the major artery for this area.
And I'm glad you did that, that just focus on the Mission and lateral, because that's a main outlet for us as
Yes, sir.
for our drainage system to be. So I'll open it for discussion. I'll start with Ms. Garza, who's on virtual. Ms. Garza, you have the floor, ma'am. If you have any questions for Mr. Cecine.
No, I have no questions. I just want to thank the county for their efforts and looking forward to completion.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I'll move over now to Mr. Plata. Mr. Plata, you have the floor.
Yes, no question, but I also want to thank you and I'm looking forward to December to have it complete. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Great, thank you.
And then I'll move over to Ms. Ortega. Ms. Ortega, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for joining us. I was really impressed by the video. It shows a lot how I'm a visual, so I really like that, and how it got all the way up to Cherry, and on the opposite side, it shows a big difference.
Yes, ma'am.
So
You
thank
can
for that.
really appreciate looking at that. And if you drive out there, you can really see it and appreciate the amount of volume of dirt that we're moving and creating that capacity. So,
Thank you so much.
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And finally, Mr. Vela,
No,
you
no
have the floor.
questions, but thanks for all the hard work.
Yes, sir, Mr. Vela. Thank
And
you.
that's the council, but I'm going to open it for Mr. Perez on behalf of the city staff. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir. We'll coordinate with Mr. Cecine on a later date to do another presentation on the other projects. Thank you.
Mr. JP Taras, our city engineer, do you have any questions for? Okay, thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Mr.
Mayor,
Cecine.
thank you very much.
Appreciate
Appreciate it,
You know,
council. Thank you.
you're always
Of
welcome
course,
to the city
we
of
look
Mission,
forward to
and
come back and present on the other projects as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, presentation number 2, Ms. Longoria, you have the floor. Stand corrected, Ms. Lerma, you have the floor.
Good morning or good afternoon, Mayor and Council, and to the public that's here. As you all know, we completed our census deadline a little earlier than what we anticipated. We closed on October the 15th. And I've got some numbers here for you, Mayor. The national self-response rate was 67%. Texas was 62.8%. Hidalgo County was 54.5%, and Mission was 56.8%. These are only the self-response rates. These do not include the numbers of the knock and talk, the enumerators that were out in the community. So there are still numbers to be added to our percentage. When I spoke to a representative from the census office in Dallas, he says, you guys are well above your 60% mark. And so he says, I have no doubt. So I also, Mayor, I think that our numbers are going to be very, very favorable. Maybe not what we didn't get the 100%, but I think that certainly they're going to be over the last decade count. And at least that's what we're hoping for. So this is, again, once a decade constitutional responsibility of all of the citizens in the United States. I want to personally thank all of our community partners that stepped up to the plate to open their doors for us so that we could have events. I want to thank the staff that was involved. I also want to thank our committee that was involved at the beginning. And they, of course, were able to contact their partners and make sure that their employees were counted and spread the word about the U.S. Census. And that's what really helped get those numbers to where we wanted to go. Data is still going to be, they're still processing. They're going to be giving us updates. The final report is due on December 31st. So we will be looking for those numbers. Again, data collected from this, from the census is going to help make us better, more informed decisions that will improve the business planning, our government and nonprofit services, and of course, the quality of life for our citizens. So again, Mayor and Council, I know that we're going to have a better rate than 56.8 because that was only the self-response rate.
But it won't go lower than that, right?
Absolutely not.
Just, we're moving forward with it.
Exactly. So again, in Mission, every slice counts. Thank you for entrusting me to be the chair of the committee, Complete Count Committee. I know that our group worked hard and we will get those numbers in hopefully by December 31st.
Yes, and make sure that you communicate to your committee and everybody that was involved, that on behalf of the mayor and the council and the citizens of Mission, we thank you for all your hard work, and we'll be waiting for the final results in December.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any questions by any of the council members? Ms. Garza?
No, Mayor, thank you. Thank you, Ida.
Thank you.
Okay, no questions? I'll call for item number 3, Ms. Enriquez. Are you on, Ms. Enriquez? I will call for Ms. Enriquez again. Ms. Enriquez, are you on? You have the floor. I will move right along to a next agenda item, and please, Charlie, when Ms. Enriquez gets on board, let me know so I can come back to agenda item and give her the opportunity to do the report from the Greater Mission Chamber of Commerce. Item number 4, Mr. Silva, you have the floor, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. Here to report that we've approved $937,000 for our Mission Cares program. $935,000 has been given out already. There's $2,000 in checks that will be cut this week. We also have 2 more applicants that should complete their packet by tomorrow, and we'll make sure that we get those into finance before our deadline of the 30th. To add to what we've been doing to try to help the small businesses, we opened our Mission Food Park, like I mentioned before. We opened 2 weekends ago, and we've had a tremendous amount of support. All of the food trucks, all of the entrepreneurial food vendors have been extremely excited. They've been selling out each and every night, and I think that it shows that people still, via social distancing, are able to get out and try to enjoy the outdoors.
One question that has been asked of me through the food park is,
Yes, sir.
do they collect sales taxes?
They do collect sales and use tax, and what we're doing is we're promoting the mission area, and we're telling the trucks, if they're mission-based businesses, that they're going to have a reduced rent. So this will encourage mission-based businesses or trucks that want to start up to register in Mission and have their sales and use tax collected here in the city.
Any questions by the council? Okay, thank you, Mr. Silva.
Thank you.
Appreciate your report. Before I move to number 5, Charlie, is Ms. Enriquez on?
What's this mean?
Okay. Okay.
Got this grant, but why would she give that?
Calling for agenda item number 5, departmental reports. Mr. Perez and the council, this is a time for you to be able to address any of the departments that we have. And Ms. Garza, if you have any requests, just let Ms. Carrillo know.
I move to approve the reports as presented.
Second.
We have a motion to approve departmental report in a second. And this, I'll open it for final discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Departmental reports are approved as presented in writing. I'll call for agenda item number 6, and this is citizens' participation, and I'm going to ask Ms. Carrillo to see if we have anybody that has signed up. Mr. Jesus Mendoza, are you on, sir?
Yes, sir, and thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Jesus
and
Mendoza, you have the floor. Keep in mind, you have a 3-minute limit.
Can you hear me, sir?
You have a 3-minute limit, and we cannot respond to your item, okay?
Yes, sir.
You have the floor, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council, for your help understanding my electrosensitivity. I have been homebound for more than 7 years with a life-threatening electrosensitivity, EHS. EHS is caused and aggravated by exposure to the same wireless radiation reaching children at school. My brain, heart, face, eyes, head, and skin are extremely sensitive to wireless radiation. Every day is a different torture. This is a horrible way to die. Evidence on the record proves that my EHS was caused by a retaliatory radiation surveillance, which uses directed microwaves and other harmful radiation. My EHS has been recognized by federal and state agencies and by courts as a physical medical condition and as a disability. EHS is reaching pandemic proportions. It is estimated that without knowing, more than 50% of the population is already suffering symptoms of EHS. Children, teachers, doctors, attorneys, and even a director of the World Health Organization are suffering from EHS. Please see wearetheevidence.org. The symptoms and signs of EHS mimic symptoms and signs of other serious illnesses, including autism, ADHD, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, Alzheimer's, fatigue syndrome, diabetes, and many others. Electrosensitivity proves conclusively that the ability of the human body to absorb radiation without suffering catastrophic and deadly harm is limited, and that microwaves are making vital organs extremely and deadly sensitive to radiation. that exposure to power levels of radiation below the federal safety limits causes severe physical harm even to adults, that the compulsory exposures to wireless microwave radiation at school are causing children EHS and brain, eye, blood, heart, nerve, and DNA damage, and other catastrophic harm and disabilities that defeat the purpose of education, that directed radiation surveillance is targeting vital organs to maim and torture to death innocent, defenseless, and unsuspecting victims, and even in the privacy of their homes, that a massive medical malpractice and a massive Medicaid and Medicare fraud are in use to conceal the harm being caused by radiation on children and on other defenseless and unsuspecting victims, that a massive and unrestricted deployment of wireless technologies is causing immense pain and suffering and the demise of millions of men, women, and children, and proves conclusively that the future of our children and the future of our country and our national security are being sold to the wireless, to Big Pharma, and to the medical industrial complexes, as detailed by the petition to impeach 3 federal judges posted on the case law section of
Excuse me,
Wireless
Mr. Mendoza.
Watch blog.
Excuse
Thank
me, Mr.
you.
Mendoza. Your 3 minutes are up, but I will give
Thank you,
you a
sir.
chance. I will give you a chance to give a few words, final conclusion.
Thank you, sir. And basically, this petition, the petition to impeach 3 federal judges, is posted on the case law section of wirelesswatchblog.org. My name is Jesus Mendoza. My telephone number is 956-583-7012. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza.
Thank you.
Ms. Carrillo, any other? Charlie, do we have anybody that's flagged? So we don't have anybody, am I correct? Okay. Do we have Ms. Enriquez on the line? Ms. Enriquez, I'm gonna call for agenda item number 3, and you have the floor, ma'am.
Mayor and City Council, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Hi, good evening, Mayor and City Council. My apologies for logging on late. So we do have the annual membership awards happening virtually this Thursday at 6 p.m. As mentioned before, we will be honoring our membership business leaders and organizations, as well as Progress Times will be honoring Mr. and Mrs. Mission. Tomorrow, the 27th, we will be hosting a virtual webinar for our businesses with the partnering with the with the Small Business Development Center. We have business branding strategies. And then on Thursday, we also have another one that is payroll compliance. So these are some webinars that we have coming up this week. We also, our tourism director and myself, we will be participating on the STR webinar hoteliers update to hear about the trends. But I do want to share that we did get our quarterly report on how we're doing in hospitality here in Mission. So right now in 2020, we are at 53.7% out of 100. And if we compare that to the year 2018, at this time, we were 48.8%. So this is really good. Going from 48% last year, 2019, we were at 63% to date. And then today we are 53%. So our tourism heads and beds are going up. And that is all I have for you today, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Enriquez. Any questions by any of the city council?
No, Mayor.
No? Ms. Garza?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Enriquez.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'll move along and call for a public hearing, and I'm going to ask the planning and zoning's recommendation on agenda item number 7. You have the floor, ma'am. Luna.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item number 7 is a public hearing, is a rezoning of a tract of land containing 8.39 of 1 acre out of lot 292 Johnny Sherry subdivision. It's currently agricultural. They're proposing R1A large lot single family. The applicant is Jerry C. and Kirk A. Clark. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance would be needed. The subject site is located approximately a quarter mile north of East Mile 2 Road along the west side of Glasscock Road. Surrounding zones include agricultural to the north, east, west, and south. Existing land uses include single-family residential to the north and to the south. East and west is currently vacant agricultural. The proposed zone complies with the future land use map and the surrounding land uses. Staff and P&Z recommended approval. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning? Ms. Carrillo, do we have anybody that has responded to speak on this rezoning? Charlie, do we have anybody flagged? Okay, so therefore I'm going to close the public hearing at this time and give it, move it over to the council. Council, what is your wishes?
Mayor, I have a question.
Go ahead, Ms. Garza.
Okay, I see the aerial on it and there's a home there already. So is there a particular reason why we're rezoning the property?
They're just wanting to bring it up to compliance. It's currently agriculture and they want to subdivide to a one-lot subdivision. So they want to comply with the current zoning.
Okay, so then we're gonna see a one lot sub, or maybe not see it, but that's the plan.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? What is the wishes of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion for approval. Do I hear a second?
Second,
We have a second. In this, I open it for final discussion. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and I'm ruling 5-0 for the motion.
Ordinance 4958.
4958. For the record, let it, the ordinance 4958 has been approved. I will call for planning and zoning recommendation on agenda item number 8, and this is a public hearing. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Yes, the next item is a conditional use permit for a drive-through service window for Tortilleria Restaurant Regia, located at 2515 Colorado Street, Suite 1. This is Lot 2, Block 2 out of Santa Lucia Development. The property is currently zoned commercial. The applicant is Carla Berwais. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance would be needed. The subject site is located at the northwest corner of Colorado and Taylor Road. The applicant is proposing to lease a suite within the commercial development to have her tortilleria and restaurant with a drive-through service window. The applicant is proposing to have a total of 8 tables, which she's proposing to have inside and outside. Staff notes that the table she's proposing outside would not be allowed because there's no room, so it would just be a total of 4. Access to the site will be provided off of Colorado or Taylor through an existing 24 driveway. Customers can park with a shared parking area to walk in and purchase the items. Days and hours of operation is Sunday to Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday through Saturday from 7 to 4 a.m. Staff, they're recommending 25 employees that would man this operation in different shifts. Parking, there are a total of 74 parking spaces held in common for the plaza. Landscaping is meeting the codes. The applicant's menu consists of tacos, guisados by the pound, and other basic snacks that will be provided. Saturday and Sunday, they're proposing to have barbacoa and menudo. Staff is recommending approval subject to a 1-year reevaluation to assess this operation. CUP is not transferable to others. Continue compliance with fire, building, health, and sign codes, the acquisition of a business license. And the only recommendation is that on Saturday, instead of closing at 4 a.m., she closes at 1 a.m. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit? Charlie, do we have anybody that has flagged that wants to talk in the public hearing? Carrillo, do we have anybody that's? Okay. I will be closing this public hearing, and I will be moving the item to the council. The council, what is your wishes?
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. In this, I open it for discussion. Okay, will you withdraw your motion? Will you withdraw your motion and resend the motion, please?
I withdraw my motion and my new motion is to approve the conditional use permit that on Saturday will be open till 1 a.m.
Do I hear a second? Second. In this, I open it for discussion.
Motion, can you Mayor, I'm sorry, can you repeat the motion? Because I couldn't hear it.
I'll let Mr. Plata repeat the motion. Mr. Plata, repeat the motion, please.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, that I move to approve the conditional use permit for 1 year with, on Saturdays to be open till 1 a.m.
Okay.
Do you have
Thank
any
you.
questions, Ms. Garza?
No. I heard him better now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And this, I will open it for final discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries for ordinance 4959 as a 5-0. And I will be calling for item number 9. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item 9 is a conditional use permit renewal for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at 5x5 Brewing Company at 801 North Bryan Road. The legal would be Lot 1 Tamkin subdivision. It's currently zoned industrial. The applicant is 5x5 Brewing Company LLC. Council is inclined to approve this item, and adoption of an ordinance would be needing. The subject site is located on the northwest corner of Bryan Road and Business Highway 83. The applicant desires to renew the conditional use permit for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages. The 5x5 Brewing Company is a veteran-owned and operated craft brewery. The most recent approval for this site was on July 9, 2018, for a period of 2 years. Days and hours of operation are Monday to Thursday from 4 p.m. to 10, Friday from 4 to 12, Saturday from 2 to 12 a.m., and Sunday from 2 to 10. Staff, they have 12 to 18 employees in different shifts. Parking, there are currently several existing parking areas shared within various businesses within the seat building. The sale of alcohol requires that such uses needed to be 300 feet from residential uses. There are no such uses within this radius. Staff is recommending approval subject to CUP to be valid for a period of 2 years, at which time the applicant will need to renew their CUP and TABC license, and they must comply with building, fire, and health codes. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal?
George Rice, 5x5 Brewing.
Mr. Rice, you have the floor. Please,
I want to.
you have
I
3
want to
minutes,
say.
sir.
I just want to say thank you to the City of Mission for allowing us to operate our business in the city. It's been a very rough year for us. We've been scaling up very rapidly. We are now at 18 employees total, and we have plans on bringing on 2 more very shortly. We are in contracts with Southern Star Brewery out of Conroe, Texas, and we will be having our product canned and valley-wide and HEB by the end of the winter. But thank you all for your consideration, and thank you to City of Mission for all your support throughout these last 2 years, and especially during this pandemic. Thank you, guys.
For the record, your position is approval, right?
Yeah, all day long.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? Ms. Carrillo, do we have anybody else that wants to present in the public hearing? We have, and Mr. Charlie, we have no. Therefore, I'm going to close this public hearing and I'm going to move it to the wishes of the council, council for direction.
I move for
Approve,
approval.
Mayor.
Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and I hear a second, and this I open it for final discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 4960 is approved 5-0. I am calling for agenda item number 10. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item 10 is a conditional use permit renewal for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at Lada 52 Bar and Grill located at 4001 South Sherry Road, Suite 100. This is out of Lot 1, Sherryland Plantation Grove Tech Center number 2. It's currently zoned PUD, Plan Unit Development. The applicant is Marco Mascorro. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance would be needed. The existing 5,600 square feet restaurant is located within existing plaza located on the southeast corner of San Mateo and Sherry Road. Access to the site can be from one primary driveway to Sherry Road or from a separate driveway from San Mateo to San Gabriel. The CUP was most recently approved by P&Z on October 10, 2018 for a period of 2 years. The hours of operation are Sunday to Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Thursday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. They have 6 employees for staff. Parking is held in common. The proposed restaurant does not include a bar component. Section 1.563A of the zoning code does require that a minimum separation of 300 feet from the property line of any church, school, publicly owned property or residence. There is a single-family residential neighborhood located within the 300-foot radius. P&Z City Council waived the separation requirement in this CUP previous approval. Staff recommends approval for a period of 2 years, at which time the CUP and TABC license would need to be renewed, waiver of the 300-foot separation requirements from residential home, and they must comply with the fire, health, building code requirements. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? Ms. Carrillo, do we have anybody that has indicated they want to speak? Mr. Charlie? No. I will close this public hearing and I will bring it over to the council for further directions. Council?
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 4961 is approved 5-0, and I'm calling for agenda item number 11. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item 11 is a public hearing. It's a discussion and action to rescind ordinance 4849 to delete section 1.371-3L, referring to the following: adding other duplex as a conditional use under the single-family residential zoning district. If the council is inclined to approve this this item, and adoption of an ordinance would be needed. This amendment will address the concerns recently voiced by the residents in the original town sign area where they don't want any more apartments in the area. So if the council is inclined to approve this item, the only way they could construct apartments would be by applying for a rezoning request. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Any discussion and action to rescind ordinance number 4849? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against or want to discuss an action to rescind ordinance number 4849? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against or would like to discuss an action to rescind ordinance number 4849? Ms. Carrillo, is there anybody that wants to indicate that they want to do a discussion or action to rescind ordinance number 4849? Charlie, none. And this, I'll close this public hearing and I'll move it over to the council for council direction. Council?
I move to rescind ordinance number 4849 as presented, Mayor.
We have a motion to rescind ordinance 4849. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. No discussion, therefore I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 4962 now stands over ordinance number 484950. And I will call for agenda item number 12. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item 12 is a public hearing. It's a discussion and action to amend ordinance 4883 to include patios and porches. If the council is inclined to approve this ordinance, and adoption of an ordinance would be needed. On January 27, 2020, the city council adopted an ordinance to amend the carport ordinance to have reduced setbacks in order to help our property owners who have little or no room to add to a garage or carport for their vehicles. Our code enforcement department has encountered that a lot of porches and patios were also in violation of the front and side setback in the older subdivisions. That's why we're bringing this ordinance here today. Most of the property owners have mentioned that they have no room to cover themselves from the sun where they're outside of their residence enjoying the fresh air. Staff does not object to this amendment as long as they comply with the requirement as stipulated in the ordinance. One is the construction material must match the primary home. It would allow carports and porches to be 8 feet from the front property line and 4 feet from the side. This would only be for subdivisions that are 20 years or older. The porches and patios must be perpetually open, and if they have a homeowners association, they would need to comply with that requirement. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing for discussion and action to amend ordinance 4883. This is a public hearing for discussion and action to amend ordinance number 4883. This is a public hearing for discussion and action to amend ordinance number 4883. Ms. Carrillo, do we have anybody that has indicated they want to join the public hearing? Charlie, do we have anybody that's flagged? And this, I will close the public hearing and I will move it over to the council for direction. Council.
I just have a question.
Mayor, I have a question.
Go ahead. Let me recognize Mr. Plata first, and then we'll recognize you, Ms. Garza.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Plata, go first.
So in any subdivision that is 20 years or older, they can put a carport on the front of their garage or?
Currently, the carport and garages are currently approved for 20 years old. This is only to include patios and porches. Currently, they can do that if a subdivision is older than 20 years.
Carports are not patios and porches. We're only adding patios and porches.
Yeah, carports and garages were already included in the beginning of the year.
Thank you.
Ms. Garza, you have the floor, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. On my screen, I'm reading discussion and action to rescind the ordinance, but on the agenda it says amend.
It's
And-
actually to amend.
Okay, I wanted to make that
Typo.
clarification.
For the record, let it show that it is not rescind, is to amend,
Yes, it's to amend the
for
ordinance.
the record.
Okay, and so then basically we're allowing porches and patios 8 feet from the property line, the front property line, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. And 4 feet on the side.
And 4 feet on the side.
But
Okay,
This is only for subdivisions older, 20 years or older. Any new subdivision would need to comply with the current setbacks.
with the current setbacks. Okay, all righty, thank you.
Any other question by any of the council members? I will call for a motion.
I move for approval, Mayor.
We have a motion on the floor Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for final discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 4963 is approved, and it is amending ordinance number 4883 for the record. And I'm
Thank you,
calling
Mayor.
for agenda item number 13. It is a public hearing. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Yes, item number 13 is a discussion and action to amend Chapter 90, Solid Waste, Article 1, Section 90-1, to include definitions, Section 93, littering prohibited, and Section 95, penalties for violations of or noncompliance with chapter. If the council is inclined to approve this ordinance, an adoption of an ordinance would be needed. This proposed amendment will include definitions that we currently don't have within this subdivision. It would define the actual act of what is considered illegal dumping, and it would have room for leverage on the fines imposed for illegal dumping. Currently, we have a fine of $1,000, and we cannot deviate from those $1,000. By adding this new amendment, it would range from $0 to $4,000. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Before I open it as a public hearing, I have a question on,
Sure.
we're amending chapter 90 of what?
Solid waste
The solid waste, what, ordinance?
is the code of ordinance.
It's a
Solid waste code of ordinance, yes.
Okay, a code of ordinance, just for the record, so it's not state law, it's not county
It's
law,
our City of Mission code of ordinance.
it's the City of Mission Code of Ordinance, just for the record. Thank you, ma'am, for the clarification. I will open the public hearing for discussion and action to amend chapter 90 of the solid waste. This is a public hearing
Yes, sir.
for discussion and action to amend chapter 90 of the solid waste. This is a public hearing for discussion and action to amend chapter 90 of the solid waste code of. Do we have anybody on that has indicated they want to be part of the public hearing? No, Charlie, nobody's red flag. I will close this public hearing and I'll move it for the directions of the city council. Council?
Mayor, I would like to approve, I also would like maybe if the ordinance gets approved, maybe put a notice or something on the paper to let citizens know, because personally, I would like zero tolerance on this. If they litter, I mean, I would like for us to just apply the law, the ordinance to it. That's the only way that we're gonna keep our city clean.
Your motion has been accepted. We'll ask for a second.
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion by any of the council members. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries and ordinance 4964 is approved, and it'll amend chapter 90 of the solid waste code.
Thank you.
And I will call for item number 14, and
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Agenda item 14 is a public hearing authorizing the submittal of an application to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department for the Local Parks Grant Program and authorizing mayor as authorized representative regarding the city's participation in the program through approval of resolution.
1696. 1696, sir.
Resolution 1696,
No, 1696, correct.
1696.
1696. For
This
the
is the opportunity for citizens to comment on the submittal of the application to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department for the purpose of the development of the all-inclusive park at the Mission Lines Park, and authorizing mayor as the authorized representative for the submittal of the grant request, which will be $750,000 with the 50% matching funds from the city and from outside support. Staff and city manager are recommending approval. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Thank you, sir. This is a public hearing authorizing the submittal of an application to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. This is a public hearing authorizing the submittal of an application to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. This is a public hearing authorizing the submittal of an application to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. Do we have anybody that wants to participate from virtual? And Charlie, nobody's flagged? I will close this public hearing and I will ask for the direction of the council on resolution number 1696.
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. I'll open it for final discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries and resolution 1696 is approved, sir.
Thank you.
And I will be calling for the consent agenda. All consent items, all consent agenda items are considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the council member requests an item to be removed and considered separately. The city council may take various actions, including but not limited to rescheduling an item in its entirety for a future date or time. The city council may elect to go into executive session on any item, whether or not such item is posted as an executive session item at any time during the meeting when authorized by the provision of the Open Meeting Act. Consent agenda item 15, 16, 17, 18, and resolution 1697, 19, 20, 21, and 21. What is the wishes of the council?
I move for approval, Mayor.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda item. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda item in a second. Any final discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. The consent agenda item 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, to include resolution 1697, 20, and 21 are approved. And I will be calling for approvals and authorization and agenda item number 22. And Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item 22 is a preliminary and final plat approval for amended plat Lone Star Steel subdivision, a re-subdivision of 5.897 acres being all of lots 1 and 2 Lone Star Steel subdivision. It's currently zone C3. The developer is Mancock Ltd. and the engineer is Meldon and Hunt. This property is located 225 feet west of Business Park Drive along the south side of Expressway 83. The subdivision consists of 2 commercial lots. All utilities, water, and electrical connections are existing for each lot. The drainage exists of surface runoff from the lots into a system of existing inlets and pipes that will discharge along Business Park Drive, thence flowing south and discharging into an existing detention pond. The pond drains into the Mission Inlet pilot channel located on the south side of said detention pond. The subdivision is already excluded from the water district. It must comply with format findings, and street lighting already exists. Staff recommends approval of this subdivision, subject to complying with all typical format findings and recording of restrictions. This item is now before you.
What is the direction of the council?
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for final discussion.
Mayor, I have a question.
Go ahead, ma'am. You have the floor.
Can we go to the first slide? That one. Okay, the next one. Okay, so this was one lot, Susie, is that correct?
No, ma'am, it's always been 2 lots. All they're doing is they're making lot 1 bigger.
Oh, okay, so they're making, okay, so
Lot
it's,
1 is bigger, is big, and lot 2 will be a little bit smaller than how it originally was.
okay, so they're just moving the lot line within the subdivision,
Yes, ma'am.
basically. Okay, alrighty, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question by the council? I will call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 22 is approved 5-0. And I'm calling for item number 23. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item 23 is a homestead exemption variance for a tract of land containing 0.62 acres out of the north, 1 acre of the 7.5 acres lying south and west of the canal out of lot 29-9 West Addition to Sharyland. It's currently agricultural. The applicant is Ernesto Escamilla. This property is located along the east side of Mayberry Road. It currently the applicant is proposing to connect to an existing 8-inch water line located along the west side of Mayberry Road to the proposed water service to the lot. The applicant applied for a homestead exemption back in September of 2016, but was not aware that he needed to comply or complete his home within 1 year. Since he's now ready to apply and to finish his home within 1 year, therefore we need to revisit this ordinance or this item again. Staff is recommending approval, subject to dedicating the 20 feet of additional right-of-way along Mayberry Road and compliance with all homestead exemption variants. This item is now before you.
What is the wishes of the council?
I move for approval, Mayor.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 23 is 5-0, and I'm calling for item 24. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item 24 is a final plat approval for Davila Estates. This is a 6.299 acre tract of land out of lot 5 Miller Brothers Nursery Re-subdivision. It's currently zone R1. Developer is Norma Davila, and the engineer is Rodriguez Engineering. This property is located on West 2 Mile Road and Hillcrest Drive intersection. The developer is proposing 24 single-family residential lot. It has city water and city sewer. This subdivision was previously seen on September 11, 2017, prior to the new 50-year detention requirement. They are next to a drainage, and they are willing to dedicate the widening of the ditch. Staff is recommending approval, subject to meeting the model subdivision rules, comply with the street alignment policy, and they pay the capital sewer recovery fees. This item is now before you.
What is the wishes of the council?
I move for approval, Mayor.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 24 is approved 5-0. And I'm calling for item number 25, and Chief Dominguez is,
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Item 25 is authorization to purchase personal protective equipment and disinfecting supplies from Granger via buy board contract 569-18. A total of 10 heavy-duty sanitizing stands will be purchased, as well as the needed sanitizer to be placed in strategic locations around the police department and the substation on Glasscock Road. Included in the order will be PPE for officers and staff to keep safe from the coronavirus. The total amount of this expenditure will be $21,764.90 and will be funded by the Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Funding Program grant from the Office of the Governor. Staff and City Manager recommend approval.
what is the wishes of the council?
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open up for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and item 25 is approved 5-0, Chief, and we're calling for item number 26, and you have the floor, Chief.
Item number 26 is authorization to enter into an agency agreement with the Leads Online for a total track investigation system service package, a sole source vendor. Leads Online is an investigative tool utilized by our Criminal Investigations Bureau to try and locate stolen items that are sold via local and regional pawn shops. This tool has led to the recovery of numerous stolen items reported by our citizens. Mission Police has successfully utilized Leads Online for nearly 18 years. The contract will be from October 1st, 2020 through September the 30th of 2021. The total amount for the agency agreement is $10,236. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? We have a second. And this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 26 is approved, Chief, and I'm calling for item number 27, and you have the floor, Chief.
Item 27 is authorization to accept the 2020 Local Border Security Program Grant from the Office of the Governor Homeland Security Grant Division for FY 2020-2021 grant year. The overtime grant will allow the Mission Police Department to increase patrol presence throughout the city and especially in and around the U.S.-Mexican border. The total grant award is $185,000 that will be in effect from October 1st, 2020 through August 31st of 2021. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
What is the wishing?
I move to approve the acceptance.
We have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 27 is approved, Chief, and I'm calling for item number 28, Chief, and you have the floor.
Item 28 is authorization to accept the Mission SWAT equipment grant from the Office of the Governor's Homeland Security Grant Program. This grant will allow the Mission Police to purchase a tactical robot. The robot will be used to support various areas such as explosive device remediation, hazardous materials operations, assist in tactical law enforcement operations, search and rescue, and surveillance. The robot will be capable of stair climbing, all-terrain operation, and will be equipped with live video feed and two-way audio functionality. There is no cash match required by the city of Mission for this grant. The total amount of the grant award is $35,000. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Mayor, I move to approve the authorization to accept the Mission SWAT equipment grant.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 28 is approved, Chief Dominguez, and calling for item number 29, and you have the floor, Chief.
Item 29 is authorization to accept the U.S. Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Assistance Grant for the Mission Police Department Body-Worn Camera Policy and Implementation Program. This grant will allow our department to purchase a total of 30 body-worn cameras. This aforementioned equipment will be utilized to record police officer contacts with the general public while working their designated shifts. The total grant award is $18,825. The city of Mission is responsible for a cash match of $18,825. Staff and city manager recommend approval for this item.
Mayor, I move to approve the acceptance of the grant.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the grant. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 29 is approved 5-0, Chief, and I'm calling for item number 30, and Chief, you have the floor.
Item 30 is authorization to accept the FY 2020 Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant from the Bureau of Justice Assistance. The Bulletproof Vest Grant will provide the Mission Police Department a total of $17,376.65 towards the purchase of 5 SWAT vests and 30 patrol level vests. The Mission Police Department will provide a cash match in the amount of $17,376.65. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move to approve the acceptance of the grant.
We have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 30 is approved 5-0, Chief Dominguez, and I'm calling for item 31. Chief Dominguez, you have the floor.
Item 31 is authorization to accept the First Responder Mental Health Program Grant from the Office of the Governor. The grant from the Office of the Governor will allow the Mission Police Department staff to receive services and assistance related to trauma-related incidents. Included in the treatment will be confidential and specialized evidence-based approach to treating and reducing stress for our staff. The total grant award is $36,000. There is an in-kind match of $10,500 provided by Dr. Norma Villanueva and her intern staff. These are students from UTRGV, Our Lady of the Lake, Simmons University, and Walden University. There is no cash match required by the City of Mission. Staff and City Manager recommend approval.
Move for approval, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second, and it's open for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 31, Chief Dominguez is approved 5-0, and I'm calling for item number 33. Chief Dominguez, you have the floor.
Item 32 is authorization to submit payment to Tyler Technologies for an enterprise project based on our agreement signed on November 26, 2019. The City of Mission Police Department received authorization from the City of Mission City Council to engage Tyler Technologies to build our new software hardware system enterprise. We are requesting authorization to provide Tyler Technologies their first scheduled payment for professional services based on our agreement in the amount of $94,456.67. Staff and City Manager recommend approval.
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this is open for discussion.
What is the total amount of the work?
The total amount, sir, is right a little bit over 600,000. If you remember, we did get a grant, a NIBRS grant from the governor's office for about $338,000 as well.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 32, Chief, is approved 5-0, and I'm calling for item number 33. Ms. Rocha, you have the floor, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Next item is authorization to purchase via state-approved contract from Baker and Taylor for library material. The purchase is going to be $43,000 worth of library materials from Baker and Taylor via state co-op contract 715-M2. Staff and City Manager recommend approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this is open for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 33, it's approved 5-0, Ms. Rocha, and I'm calling for item number 34, Marshall Cavazos, or
Yes, sir.
or is it Chief Sanchez?
He's going to be online, sir.
Okay, Marshall Cavazos, you're online. You have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. City was awarded $1,000 from the local community grant from Walmart. This is a non-matching grant. From the monies would be used to purchase cameras to be used for public education events and investigations. Staff and City Manager recommend approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Second. We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 34, Marshall, you have the item approved. Calling for item number 35, and Ms. Casares, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I come before you seeking authorization to purchase 2 broadcast cameras with accessories, along with 2 tripods, as well as a battery charger and a decoder for the Media Relations Department. It'll be via state-approved by board contract number 604-20 from Omega Broadcast in the amount of $28,304. The purchase of the equipment for item 35 would come from the PEG fund. Staff and City Manager have recommended approval. Item 35 is now before you.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Second. We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 35, Ms. Casares, is approved 5-0, and I'm calling for item number 36. Mr. Benson, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I have before you item number 36, which is the approval of memorandum of understanding for swimming pool use for the city of Mission and Mission CISD have developed a memorandum of understanding for the swimming pool, swimming year of 2021. MCISD will pay the city of Mission the sum of $1 per student payable at the end of the needed swim cycle. Only swim and dive coaches and swimmers will be granted access to the pool areas as needed. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve item number 36. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 36 is approved, Mr. Benson, at 5-0, and we're calling for item number 37. Mr. Benson, you have the floor.
Thank you. Item number 37 is authorization to purchase via state-approved contract number 613-20 for assorted pool chemicals, muriatic acid feeder systems, and integrated electronic systems for the Parks and Recreation, swimming pools, splash pad, and the fountain at Mission Event Center. From Aquatic Commercial Solutions via buy board contract number 613-20 for the annual amount of $22,000. Included in this purchase of said chemicals are acid feeder systems and integrated electronic system, IES, and which is used to monitor and control the pH level and chlorine concentrations. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 37 is approved 5-0, Mr. Benson, and I'm calling for item number 38, and you have the floor, Mr. Benson.
Thank you. Item number 38 is approval of change order number 1 for the sanding, painting, and structural repair of the slide at Mayberry Pool. Change order number 1 would include the repair of stress cracks and chips in the open flume water slide in detail at a cost of $2,500. These changes will yield an increase of the original cost from $27,600 to $30,000. Change order is under the 25% limit at 7.4% from the original contract cost set by Texas Governmental Code. Staff and city manager recommended approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 38 is approved 5-0, Mr. Benson, and I'm calling for item number 39. Mr. Cardoza, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item number 39 is the authorization to accept the Regional Response Grant Project from the Office of the Governor Homeland Security Grant Division for SHSP FY 2020. The Office of Emergency Management Division is seeking authorization to accept the State Homeland Security Grant 4080101 from the Office of the Governor Grant Division SHSP for fiscal year 2020 in the amount of $50,000. The project will support a new regional response trailer, generator, and maintenance for the equipment for the regional response team. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this, I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 39, Mr. Cardoza, is approved 5-0, and I'm calling for item number 40, and you have the floor, Mr. Cardoza.
Thank you. Item 40 is the authorization to accept the Emergency Notification Message Board Grant Project from the Office of the Governor Homeland Security Grant Division for SHSP FY 2020. The Office of Emergency Management Division is seeking authorization to accept the State Homeland Security Grant 4055801 from the Office of the Governor Grant Division SHSP for fiscal year 2020 in the amount of $20,000. The project will support a portable emergency notification message board for early warning use and post information before and after a disaster. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Second. We have a second, and this, I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 40 is approved, Mr. Cardoza, 5-0, and I'm calling for item 41 for resolution 1698.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 41 is the approval of Resolution 1698 of the City Council of the City of Mission adopting County of Hidalgo Order 20-016 in response to the continuing public health emergency related to the continued efforts to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 during the fall and winter holiday season. On October 21st, 2020, County Judge Richard Cortez, County of Hidalgo, related to COVID-19 public health emergency as part of the continuing efforts. The intent of this order is to promote and prescribe health and safety measures as provided by CDC guidance for celebrations during the ongoing fall and winter holiday season. Door-to-door trick-or-treating is prohibited. Municipalities within jurisdiction of the county may provide alternative activities for their citizens, including but not limited to drive-by, trick-or-treat, or trunk-or-treat activities. Dia de los Muertos, individuals should consider safer alternative ways to celebrate. Do not use a costume mask in place of a cloth mask. Thanksgiving, individuals should consider safer alternative ways to celebrate. General health and safety measures for fall and winter holidays compliant with CDC guidance, and health and safety measures should be implemented before and after a celebration. Holiday travel. Follow safety measures during a trip to protect yourself from the spread of COVID-19. Continue use of facial coverings. Order 20-016 shall remain in effect and in full force in effect unless it is modified, amended, rescinded, or superseded pursuant to applicable law and or status of COVID-19 in the County of Hidalgo, Texas. This order supersedes prior orders to the extent that there is a conflict or apparent conflict between the orders. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move for approval, Mayor.
We have a motion to approve Resolution 1698. Do I hear a second? We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, Mr. Cardoza, and Resolution 1698 is approved 5-0, and I'm calling for item number 42. Mr. Perez, you have the floor.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item 42 is a discussion and possible action on modifying COVID-19 City of Mission guidelines. This item is the opportunity for the council to modify the existing COVID-19 guidelines that we currently have in place. At this time, sir, and Mayor and Council, we are looking at, we do have limited access onto our city facilities, and we are maintaining that at the current time. We have seen an increase in COVID cases in the county throughout the nation as well. So we are anticipating not making any modifications to our current facilities at this time. And this time we'll take any suggestions from the council.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. I will open it for the council, and we'll start with Ms. Garza to see if you have any modification, addition, or deletion of any of the COVID-19 City of Mission guidelines. Ms. Garza, you have the floor.
No, Mayor, I think we just need to, stay as safe as possible. So I wouldn't want to omit any recommendations at this point.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. Mr. Plata.
No.
Ms. Ortega.
I'm good. Thank you, Randy. I'm good.
Mr. Vela.
No changes.
No changes. I have no changes. The only thing that I'm going to suggest is for the staff to be more vigilant, for cleaning to be continuous, and also for staff to be looking for any new COVID-19 like new companies that come out that may be to put into our pool of alternative for maintaining and disinfecting and recertifying the city's offices to be ready and safe for all our employees.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. We'll continue doing that.
Any final notes, Mr. Perez?
No, sir. Not at this time.
Let me call for item number 43. No action was needed for item number 42. Am I correct, Mr. Martinez? Okay, 43. Mr. Perez, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. Item 43 is the approval of the all-inclusive park Phase 1 design for Lions Park. The all-inclusive park Phase 1 will consist of an all-inclusive play area, toddler play area, splash pad, basketball courts, and other amenities. Phase 1 has been designed by architect.
Hold on, Mr. Perez. Is any way that we could put the map up there or the?
Do we have it?
No? That's okay. Continue, Mr. Perez. Sorry.
That's okay. Phase one has been designed by Charlie Garcia, architect with Archiforms. If you all recall, this was a discussion in the workshop that we had last week, and this is for approval of design phase one to go ahead and move forward with the Lions Park, all-inclusive park, sir.
Move for approval, Mayor?
Yeah, a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? We have a second. I open it for final discussion.
So the existing community center and parking lot, that's phase two, and then the other.
Yes, sir, that would be discussed, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Randy, I guess I have a question.
Go ahead, Ms. Garza.
Submitting this plan, is the design set in stone, or is that still an option to, move things around?
Yes, yes, ma'am. The overall amenities that were discussed are part of this phase one. However, if we do make modifications to that, we will consider those as needed.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item number 43 is approved 5-0, and I want to thank Mr. Garcia for being on standby for us. But I'm calling now for item number 44.
Thank you.
Mr. Flores.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. So before you is authorization to purchase 240 licenses of E1G1 and 10 licenses of E3G3 Microsoft Office 365. We're seeking authorization for enterprise-level productivity tools under Microsoft. Office 365 services in a segmented government cloud community that enables organizations that meet U.S. compliance and security standards. The quote is considered a Microsoft Enterprise Agreement, which is a 3-year contract with Microsoft with no increase. These features include cloud storage and sharing, online meetings and instant messaging, HD video conferencing, intranet and Teams, and other services. Includes a guaranteed 99.9% uptime and a financially backed service level agreement. IT web support and 24/7 phone support for critical issues. Staff and city manager recommend approval, going with SHI Government Solutions, quotation number 19564345, DIR contract number TSO 4092.
Could you add the value of the purchase? Total value.
So the annual, so the annual is $21,022.70 annually.
Okay.
Yeah, for 250 licenses.
Thank you. Thank you. I just needed a total for the record.
Yes, sir.
I'll open it. We have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second? Second. We have a second, and it's open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 44 is approved, Mr. Flores, at 5-0, and I'm calling for item number 45. Chief Sanchez, you have the floor, sir.
Mayor, Council. Item number 45 is authorization to purchase operational and rescue equipment from Municipal Emergency Services via HGAC contract EE08-19. The operational rescue equipment will be part of outfitting the new Pierce apparatus for emergency operations. The purchase cost in the amount of $107,345 via HGAC contract EE08-19. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 45, Chief Sanchez is approved 5-0, and I'm calling for item number 46. Chief Sanchez, you have the floor.
Item 46 is authorization to purchase operational and rescue equipment from Metro Fire Apparatus Specialists, Inc. via buy board contract 603-20. The operational and rescue equipment will be part outfitting the new Pierce apparatus for emergency operations. The purchase cost is in the amount of $132,572 via buy board contract 603-20. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move to approve, Mayor.
We have a motion on the floor for approval. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and it open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 46, Chief Sanchez is approved 5-0, and I'm calling for any unfinished business, and I'm going to ask Ms. Carrillo, do we have any unfinished business? Thank you very much. Now move over to routine matters, and I'll turn it over to the city managers for comments.
Yes, Mayor. I would like to announce that in partnership with the Ansan Duas International Bridge, with the Ansan Duas Bridge Board, as Mission is part of that, they will be hosting a ribbon cutting for the northbound vehicular expansion of the lanes on Thursday at 10 a.m. We will be participating in that, and the council is invited to participate in that event as well. That'll be Thursday at 10 a.m. Also, just want to remind the public and everyone, we continue with the COVID safety and precautions. And with the upcoming holidays coming up, we ask everyone to please be cautious of that as well, and to be protect each other. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. I will call for routine matters for the mayor's comment. And obviously, we approved phase 1 of the Lions Park, and we have not designed phase 2 and phase 3. Therefore, I want to appoint Mr. Beto Vela and Nori Garza as the councils in charge and take the lead on redesigning or designing the framework for phase 2 of the project. And I want to appoint Beto Vela and Ruben Plata to lead the framework designing of phase 3 of according to the map. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Moving right along. That's the only thing other than echoing what Mr. Perez said about COVID-19. Quietly and silently is going up. So that means that a lot of people may be letting their defenses down. So in the effort of self-protection, don't forget that's the best tool that we have, self-protection. So do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your community. Okay, so we can have a very safe place to work and progress and prosper, and also stay healthy as we go through our blessings from God. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to call the city council members, and I'll start with Mayor Pro Tem. Ms. Garza, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. It's more of a question. It kind of goes to the COVID changes, and I just have a question about the possibility, and I know we've talked about it before, but I don't know how much research has been done on it, about UV air sanitizers that are built into our HVAC systems. Has anyone looked further?
I'm going to tell you that tomorrow I was going to approach Mr. Perez about that project, not only for the air condition. We also were looking at doing the robotic and doing a portable UV sanitizer also that are being used with the airlines, for all of our city facilities. And tomorrow, first thing in the morning when I get in, I'm going to meet with Mr. Perez and his staff so we can start working. I know that the council had already authorized me to begin the research on it, and we are working on it. And it seems like that UV is an additional great tool to fight COVID-19. So we're going to be moving right along with that, Ms. Garza. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir, it does. Thank you so much.
Mr. Plata, you have the floor.
No comments, Mayor. Thank you. Everybody stay safe.
Ms. Ortega, you have the floor.
Yes, I just wanted to remind everyone that early voting is still ongoing. We had an extra week because of COVID, and so I think that that's something that we can all do that's free, and we become better leaders, and people are the ones that govern and have the say. So we have I hope that you invite your friends and family to go and take the opportunity to go vote. I remind everybody that in Mission, it's at Banworth Park and at our Mission Parks and Rec. And I think they're open from 7 to 7, so you still have time to either go early before work or after until 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Any other, Ms. Ortega?
That's all, Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Vela?
No comments.
Okay. At this point, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to VTCA government.
Make a motion, Mayor.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We will be in executive session.
Ya se terminó.
Antes que te agarren el sacudero.
No, ya.
Ya no va a ser. Eso sí. playera no vas a hacer nada, no vas a, mañana vas a quedar mental. No vas a hacer nada.
Oh, executive session.
So let me go ahead and do that. And
Mayor, I move to reconvene.
we have a
Second.
motion to reconvene. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and I will call routine agenda item, city council comments. Ms. Garza, you have the floor.
Mayor, I just wanted to get an overview of our scheduled meetings for the next few weeks, if we have them.
I will call Mr. Perez to jointly with Ms. Carrillo to give us what it looks like for the next 2 months.
Yes,
Start with next week.
Ms.
With this week, you know.
Well, yes, we do. Ana, can you hear me, Ms. Garza?
Yes.
Okay, so tomorrow we had a scheduled meeting at 3 p.m. to continue the director's discussion of the director's duties.
Okay.
So tomorrow we have at 3 p.m. We had scheduled the other two groups next week, November the 3rd and 4th at 3 p.m. as well. Of course, that hasn't been posted. That's
Okay.
that's tentatively set for tomorrow at 3 and next week, Tuesday and Wednesday at 3 p.m. as well.
Okay, are we still having the retreat on the 12th, or are we moving that down to the following week?
Yes, we moved it to the following week. We're looking at the 17th of November, which is a Tuesday.
Okay, and at 10 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am. That's the tentative time and date for that retreat, yes.
Okay.
And we do have our normal regular city council meeting on the 9th.
Okay.
And then the second one on the 23rd, right, Ana?
Are we
Okay.
okay with two meetings in November, Ms. Garza?
Yes, I'm fine. But since we're moving down the retreat, do we have to have the meeting tomorrow?
Tomorrow it has to do with the department head.
I know.
Yeah, I would say that we continue the department so we can get a full comprehensive assessment of all the departments, Ms. Garza.
The departments, ma'am, and I'm not sure if you heard Ms. Ana, the departments to be tomorrow, it'd be the Grants Administration Department, Municipal Court, Fire Department, and Police Department.
Okay. And then the 3rd and 4th?
You have those, Ana?
Well, you can let her know to.
How many more departments?
You can bring it to us tomorrow. You can bring it, Ms. Garza. Ms. Garza, can Ms. Carrillo bring us the schedule for tomorrow? Have a full schedule, and we'll continue with the discussion of it. So at least we
Sure.
already know that tomorrow
Yes.
we're meeting for 4 department heads.
Okay.
And then we'll, can you prepare something, Ms. Carrillo? No, but I'm talking about a calendar with all the activities. So, and if you can give it to us tomorrow, I think that'll be very helpful for us to
Can you
plan.
email it to us?
Because I'm looking at my schedule, the one for the city, and a lot of the things that you all are talking, I don't have them down on my
Yeah.
schedule. So,
Mine doesn't have it either.
so that's
Yeah,
where
no,
I
they-
get conflict of meetings, you know,
Yeah,
because
no,
I look
we're-
at my schedule and I say, when I get somebody to come and talk to me, and I say, and I give them the green light, and then pretty soon I'm double booking.
Every once in a while, the connection goes off, so it's probably one of those rebooting things that we have to do to our phones. You have to turn off the phone and turn it back on, they'll be there,
What?
the schedule.
Yeah, no, but if I don't put it in, it'll never be there. If I don't, I can turn it
So
on.
you're
and off.
not with what Ana does it on our city phones
Yeah,
and it
but if
goes
they don't put it
directly?
in, I'm saying they don't put it in my schedule. Like right now, what she was talking about the 3rd and the 1st.
Yeah, mine isn't either, but what I'm saying is that sometimes the connection between when she posts it and coming here, it takes time and you have to turn it off and on.
Oh,
Now, the special meetings here, if you notice, they come out under my name, but that's because if I post it under mine, then the entire council can see.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the issue,
And
I don't have a problem with it. You know, if you
I-
get the schedule, if you get the schedule, I can input it myself in it, so there'll be no conflict, you know?
And I do have the list of the departments just for, and it's tentative, November the 3rd. We have Public Works, City Engineer, Facility Maintenance, and the Mission Event Center. And then tentatively on Wednesday, November the 4th, is Purchasing, Utility Billing, Emergency Management, and the Fire Marshal. Those are the last departments.
Purchasing, utility billing.
Emergency Management and Fire Marshals, ma'am. That would be for the 4th.
What was after physical maintenance?
For, on the November the 3rd,
Yeah.
we have Public Works, City Engineer, Facility Maintenance, and Mission Event Center.
Okay. And then, so have you all just spoken to the Citrus Fiesta, and when is that meeting?
I haven't, I have not scheduled them for the meeting because I was waiting for us to get through the department heads, remember?
Yeah,
That was the
'cause-
instruction that was
Because
given
the
to me.
pageant just happened on Saturday, and we need to have that meeting like ASAP.
Okay. Is that okay, Ms. Garza?
Yes.
We have the meeting with the Texas Citrus Fiesta ASSP? Because I know that the consensus was that we were going to wait till we got the departments out of the way and then meet, but Ms.
No, but after
Ms.
November
Ortega
4th is fine.
feels that she needs it faster than that.
After the 4th?
Yeah, after the 4th is fine.
Okay, so let me call Oscar Martinez to see if they're available, and I'll text you, Randy, to give me the probable dates and time.
Yes, sir. I do want to mention also that I do want to schedule a workshop to finalize the projects for the potential certificate of obligations, so that way we can finalize the dollar amount and also the projects in there, so we can start the process of doing the notice to intent to issue, publicize that, and that way we can try and schedule it for the first meeting of November so we can start the process, because the top priority on that certificate of obligations would be the drainage projects. So that's another workshop that we would schedule.
Okay.
Randy, and another thing, on what Mr. Sassin showed us today, I know that it was on Facebook Live or whatever, but can you get that PowerPoint and make sure Roxanne puts it on all of our social, because I think it's
Yes.
very important that our public knows that.
Yes, ma'am, sure will.
Thank you.
Make sure Mr. Cheats gets a copy of it too.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we can give it out then. You already published the agenda, right? But we can hand it out there. Make copies and hand it out to the committee. I think.
Ready,
they-
Mayor.
Okay, I will call for executive session, item number 47A. Mr. Martinez, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. On this item, we require a motion to approve and accept tax resale bid as presented in executive session and accept and approve resolution number
1699.
1699.
Want to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. In this, I open it for final discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 47A. Mr. Martinez, resolution 1699 passes 5-0, and I'm calling for 47B. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. 47B requires a motion to approve and accept Taylor Road Phase 2 counteroffer on parcel 46 as discussed in executive session.
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
There is a second, Mayor.
Second.
We have a second. And this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 47B is approved 5-0. 48A, we have no action. We're not going to take any action, and
That's
we're going to
correct, Mayor.
move it to a special meeting. So I'll call for 49A. There's no action for that one either. Am I correct? Oh, no, you had a motion.
There is a motion to authorize Mayor Ocaña to commence negotiations with Mazatlan Sinaloa mayor or designated representative regarding possible partnership and discussion with Madero Bridge project.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this is open for final discussion. All those all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 49 A's approved, 5-0.
Thank you,
Do
Mayor.
I
have
hear a
nothing further.
motion to adjourn?
I'm going to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.